Good morning everyone and welcome to part 10 of Infernum, where in today's episode I'll be taking out the twins and the forgotten Shadow of Calamitas. So I spawn in, then get the mechanical eye to get straight into the action. So first I summon up the twins. And first they just do their normal projectile thing like they do in vanilla. And they do a bit of dashing. And then there's this spinning attack where you're meant to spin as well. And it's this laser and flamethrower. Spinning in a circle helps a lot for this. And then for this dash attack here, I can just ram and then use the Hellborn. Yeah, you see, I dodge this much better with the circle strats. Okay. Now they're both in their second phase. You have to get them both in their second phase. And they're doing the projectile attacks from before. And then the dashes again. So you're doing some ramming and the Hellborn. Get absolutely destroyed by that flamethrower there. And then they do this attack where they do a spiral of fireballs and also shoot a circle of lasers. It looks a lot worse than it actually is. It's not too bad. Basically, they shoot and then you kind of jump a bit. Where they do the super spinny laser thing, and I get dashed into and end up dying on the first attempt. Yeah, there's a few more deaths, not many, but here is the final attempt of the twins. It didn't take very long actually. So yeah, you've seen the first phase from the last fight, or the first attempt I did. So yeah, see, the weapon I'm using here is the Hellborn because the twins dash a lot, so you can actually use the contact, the contact thing. Oh, the frenzy. Yeah, the frenzy phase, or the frenzy mode on it. As I found out what it was actually called. Just a way better name than the contact hit. But anyway, the frenzy attack does lots of damage. So a lot more damage than anything else I have. So it's worth using. But anyway, now they're in second phase. They do the circle attack from before, it's a bit faster though. And also the laser flamethrower thing. I don't know what to call it. And then the dashes, which you can just ram into them and deal a ton of damage. They do the spiral thing. Yeah, you can basically just run away. And right before stuff hits, you just dash. You don't even need to jump, you just run away. Yeah, as you can see, there's a lot. I'm getting a lot of damage in during the dashing phase. And I managed to take out Retinator. So all that's left is Spasmatism. He heals up to around 25% health. And then enters the final phase, which is really quite difficult actually. It doesn't last very long though. But yeah, I'd recommend the Mega Shark for the final phase because you can't really get any. You can't activate the frenzy very much on the Hellborn since it likes to stay far away from you. But eventually I do manage to take out the twins. And we get this cool death animation thing where Draydon is just sitting there watching his telly, I guess. But anyway, I open the bag and get some hallowed bars and souls of sight. And yeah, I grab the souls of sight and all the other souls and the hallowed bars to make the pickaxe axe, which can mine chlorophyte. And speaking of which, I head over into the jungle to mine up some chlorophyte, because it makes some very useful things like chlorophyte bullets, chlorophyte arrows, and the chlorophyte shot bow. I don't end up using the shot bow really, but the bullets are really nice to have. And I can use the chlorophyte later for shroomite armor. So I make up some chlorophyte and then make up the chlorophyte ammo and the shot bow. And yeah, the chlorophyte shot bow, I don't know if they actually changed anything in Calamity about the shot bow. It's still a decent weapon, just nothing special. And there's also the chlorophyte bullets, which have homing, which makes up for my terrible aim that you've probably been wincing at this entire playthrough, because my aim is awful. But anyway, I get some materials and make the Eye of Desolation to summon the Calamitous Shadow. So first it does this laser spread thing, and then this explosion thing, I guess, and then it's the Soul Seekers with the lasers. So just spin in a circle, and remember to stay close, otherwise you'll get hit by the main laser. And then it's got this attack here. Just don't go too far, because the lasers get faster if you go far away. Then it's got this, the spiral flames, so just go in a circle to avoid that. And at 55% the brothers come out, and you can actually ram them. It is quite risky, but there's a lot of rewards, so try and get a ram or two in. Try not to be don't do that. Don't do what I'm doing here. Now going up and down again, and then I'm going at it again with the Hellborn's Frenzy, and I die. And then there's several more deaths. It's just like the most difficult fight since Queen Slime. But anyway, I managed eventually, after around, I think this was attempt 11, so it was quite difficult. But here is the final attempt of Calamitous Clone, or the Shadow of Calamitas. It's the same thing, but it's a person now instead of basically a flying mechanical eyeball, but with brimstone instead of corruption flames. Anyway, so the weapon here I'm using is the Hellborn, yet again, for it's really good frenzy fate. It's really good frenzy attack when you hit close or ram into something, because I can actually use it again. Most hard mode bosses you can't get close enough to use it, so it's a bit pointless, but for the twins and Calamitous Shadow, it's actually quite useful. They do this, oh yeah, the brothers do this attack, so just for that, just kind of walk, like, just tap the movement keys. Don't go really fast, just go really slow for that. But yeah, here's this next phase afterwards. And for this bit, it's kind of the same as the first phase, except there's this attack, which is kind of awful, but try and avoid the darts, I guess. And then there's this attack with the spiraling brimstone, I have no clue how to dodge that. And it does dashes with the helix of lasers, so just avoid those. And it shoots these brimstone fireballs that explode into lasers. I don't really know how to talk. I don't know what I'm doing, but hey. After a while, there's this cool death animation, as usual, and I managed to take it out. But I open the bag and get some Ashes of Calamity, but I don't really get the Animosity, which is the weapon I'm looking for, so I'm going to have to fight it again for that. Yeah. So here's the refight. Here's some refights. It takes forever, by the way. The refights, like, the refights were way harder than the first winning attempt. I swear, the first winning attempt was just luck. But anyway, I get tired of dying and start making the ingredients for the Terra Spark boots. So getting the lava charm, the lava waders, then the Terra Spark boots, and I get a couple of other things. And then make Calamity's special upgrade, which is the Angel Treads, which are basically Terra Spark boots, but they let you run really fast, which will be really handy. Then I get the frog leg, and then a couple of balloons, and then the cloud and the balloon, and make the sandstorm in the bottle, the sandstorm in the balloon, and then the bundle of horseshoe balloons, and grab a jetpack. And all that combined to make the mother of all balloons, which gives the balloon triple jump, the frog leg flight boost, and also the jetpack. And then I start getting some materials to start making the Ankh shield. Though I don't have vitamins or an alchemy table to make vitamins, so I just have to grind the vitamins out in the corruption. So after a bit of farming, I get the plan and then make the armor bracing, then the Nazar, and then the counter curse matcha, the bandage, and then the medicated bandage, the reflective shades, the Ankh charm, and then the Ankh shield. That took a while, but it was worth it because the Ankh shield can be upgraded later on. But yeah, here's a few more deaths to Calamitas clone, and then I managed to finally take it out again. It took like 25 more attempts to take it out after beating it. It's so annoying when that happens. But anyway, I open the bag and finally get the Animosity. The Animosity's left click is a shotgun that imbues all bullets with brimstone, even chlorophyte bullets, so I can use chlorophyte bullets but also inflict the brimstone debuff, which is very nice. And then the right click is a brimstone sniper round. But anyway, next I make the hellstone upgrade for the magic storage, because yeah, I ran out of storage I was running out of storage, so I made an upgrade. So I clear out an area and start work on the trophy room, because I've gotten all these cool relics, but I haven't actually made anywhere to put them yet, and I've been putting it off since like I killed King Slime. Literally. So yeah, this pillar is, I'm using palm wood for the pillar, and I'm going to paint it grey eventually. But yeah, I couldn't really settle on the design initially. However, eventually I get quite close to settled on this design here. So clear out a bit more of an area, place down palm wood for the floor, paint it all grey, and then start work on another pillar. And I start building this arch to connect the pillars. Eventually I get this sort of double arch design, which I really like the look of, so I'll stick with that. And I paint it grey, and now I start using a combination of the flat toxic cannon and the mineral mortar to clear out just a big area. Clear out a big area in the desert for expansion of the trophy room. Yeah, this build took me like 2 hours to do. It took me like 5 minutes to build like a single one of the pillars. Single one of the pillar modules. So it took ages. And then also I wanted to display the regular relics as well as the Infernum relics. So I decided to build a set of pillars on the top as well, on top of the other ones. And also flatten off the sort of the top of the middle arch so I can place relics on that. And yeah, I'm really liking this sort of double level design. And yeah, do some painting and then painting it all grey, and then start placing in the Infernum relics and the regular relics. And placing a couple of the final relics, and then and the trophy room's now complete. I think it's come out really nice, especially, I'm not really a builder, but it's come out really nice. But that's all for today's episode, so see you lot in the next one.